Headed by number 1 Vagador, ridden by Mark Perrott. 2 is Westway, Jonathan Lower. 3 Nod Form, Richard Rowe. 4 King's Curate, Mr. Dennis Gray. 5 is Combermere, Jimmy Frost. 6 Just as Hopeful, Nigel Hawke. 7 Doobie Brief, Mark Pittman. 8 Burgoyne, and I see that's ridden by Lorcan and on the board, and yes it is. I was just wondering whether Lorcan was okay. Number 9 is Hawkeye, ridden by Tony Charlton. 10 is More Fool You, ridden by Simon Earl. 11 Banker's Gossip, ridden by Richard Dunwoody. 12 is Oublier l'Ennui, ridden by Roddy Green. 13 Bossian Chieftain, ridden by Luke Harvey. 14 Maradong Brook, Carl Llewellyn. 15 is Stern with Hewell Davis putting up 3 pounds overweight, and 16 is None So Wise, ridden by Martin Lynch, and here's how they bet at the moment.
And Doobie Brief is the favourite, 3-1. There's been a major gamble on Doobie Brief. You could have picked him up for 7-1 at some bookmakers this morning, but there it is, the new price, 3-1. Westway, 13-2. King's Curate and Combermere and Boskian Chieftain, 8-1. Burgoyne and Hawkeye, both 10-1. Hawkeye's come in 2 points from 12. Just as Hopeful and More Fool You and Vagador, 16-1, and from 20-1 the others.
Looks a pretty good line, and they're away. And in the earliest stages, More Fool You goes on. Westway on the inside. Westway, More Fool You, Nod Form right there on the outer. Doobie Brief jumps at about 5th, and my goodness, they're going a real good gallop for a race over this trip. Westway on the inside, More Fool You, Doobie Brief right up there, Nod Form. Oublier l'Ennui has gone up on the outside. He'll actually be second now. Westway from Oublier l'Ennui. Nod Form moves right up there. More Fool You. Doobie Brief, the gamble of the race, is dropped back now to mid-division, and in fact is losing a few places. This horse that Victor Chandler laid a bet of 15,000 to 3 each way about this morning. And Westway, the pipe horse, the leader, as they come to the second. Oublier l'Ennui right up there, then towards the outside. Showing is Bossian Chieftain. Right up there also is None So Wise. Westway towards the left. None So Wise towards the right with Stern on his outside. Oublier l'Ennui right up there, just in behind him, and then comes Just as Hopeful coming down to the next flight. And it's Westway from Just as Hopeful, Oublier l'Ennui, and on the outside None So Wise. Then comes Nod Form, and then over on the far side the grey More Fool You is being tracked by Doobie Brief as they round this turn into the home stretch on the first circuit and approach the 4th flight. And Westway just the leader as they come to it. From None So Wise on the outside, that's the right of the picture as we see them at the moment. Over on the far side is More Fool You with Just as Hopeful. Doobie Brief has improved just in behind Just as Hopeful. Coming down to the next, None So Wise has just taken it up now from Westway on the far side. Oublier l'Ennui, Just as Hopeful, Stern, Doobie Brief over on the far side. Banker's Gossip, Just as Hopeful made a mistake there. And the back marker at the moment is Maradong Brook. And as they pass the winning post on the first circuit, very close up front at this stage, with Westway right back in contention with None So Wise. More Fool You in the inner. Doobie Brief has got a lovely pitch in between he and Oublier l'Ennui as they swing right-handed now. And still Westway right up there with None So Wise. Nod Form on the outside, the grey More Fool You, and then Doobie Brief. And behind Doobie Brief is Just as Hopeful. as they run downhill in the fading light towards the 6th here at Ascot. None So Wise on the outside of Westway. Nod Form, More Fool You, Do Be Brief behind him. King's Curate has made progress with Oublier L'Ennui right upside. Stern has made good ground as well with 3 pound overweight under Hewell Davis. And it's None So Wise and Westway, More Fool You on the inside. Nod Form, Do Be Brief. Banker's Gossip is making good ground also, and so is Bossy and Chieftain. And maintaining this very strong gallop, Westway and None So Wise, More Fool You, Nod Form, King's Curate, Do Be Brief, Bossy and Chieftain over the 7th that was. Westway still from None So Wise, the grey More Fool You, then King's Curate making ground on the outside of Nod Form with Do Be Brief travelling strongly next. Just behind Do Be Brief is Banker's Gossip, and then comes Bossy and Chieftain. Right over the far side now with 4 left to jump. Westway and None So Wise from Nod Form in the Jim Joel colours, who moves into 3rd. Then comes King's Curate on the outside of More Fool You, then Do Be Brief. And King's Curate still travelling well towards the outer. Do Be Brief going strongly just on his inner as they come down to the 8th flight. King's Curate has moved up right on the outside of None So Wise, with Westway still hanging on the inner, and Do Be Brief coming there strongly. Hawkeye was a faller at that one. 3 from home this is. And it's None So Wise on the inside of King's Curate. Westway and None So Wise is a faller there, has left King's Curate in the lead. King's Curate now by a length from More Fool You, the grey. Then comes Westway, then Do Be Brief improving. Behind him, Banker's Gossip. Then comes Nod Form, turning for home. King's Curate is the leader from More Fool You. Then comes Westway, just being overtaken by Do Be Brief and Nod Form on the outer. Racing down to the second last now in the Munns electrical hurdle. It's More Fool You on the far side, King's Curate on the near side. Then comes Westway and Do Be Brief and Nod Form at the second last. King's Curate is going to land in the lead. King's Curate by a length from More Fool You. Then comes Westway, then Do Be Brief and Nod Form running down to the final flight now, and King's Curate's got a clear advantage with Westway renewing his challenge. This is the final flight. King's Curate by 2 lengths jumps it well. Westway falls at the last, and now moving into second. On the far side is More Fool You with Banker's Gossip, and on the near side it's Do Be Brief, but striding up to the line to win this very easily indeed is King's Curate the winner. Banker's Gossip's going to get up to be second with 3rd More Fool You. 4 was Do Be Brief. 5 came Combermere, then Nod Form, then Bossy and Chieftain, and then Burgoyne. Behind Burgoyne was Vagador, then Oublier L'Ennui, and behind Oublier L'Ennui was Marauding Brook, and last to finish was Stern. And so the result of the Munns electrical hurdle, first number 4, King's Curate, owned by Mr. C.J. Ellis, trained by Stan Mellor, and ridden by Mr. Dennis Gray, the New Zealander, his first winner of the season. What a cracking race to win. Second was number 11, Banker's Gossip, owned by Mrs. M.P. Sutton, trained by David Nicholson and ridden by Richard Dunwoody. And third was number 10, More Fool You, owned by Mr. Don Goodenough, trained by Philip Hobbs and ridden by Simon Earle. And fourth was the gamble of the race, number 7, Do Be Brief.
King's Curate, 8 to 1. Second, number 11, Banker's Gossip, 25 to 1. Third, number 10, More Fool You, 20 to 1. And fourth, number 7, the favourite, Do Be Brief, 5 to 2.